everyone. My name is Robin Butterfield, and I'm pleased to be today's trainer for this session on how to customize your My VPI dashboard. Thank you very much for joining this customer training webinar series. The goal of these webinars is to highlight features within VPI Empower Suite that allow you to take full advantage of all the functionality the tool offers you. Many of the features we'll be demoing today will aid you in increasing productivity, greater user effectiveness, and general overall improved experience in the VPI application. To avoid interruptions, all attendees have been placed in a listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the webcast, please type them into the Q&A box on your screen. I'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible at the end of the webinar within the allotted 45 minutes. If I can't address your question during our time today, I'll make sure to get back to you via email. And after this webinar, you'll receive a brief survey. We encourage you to fill this out and provide us any input on the usefulness of this webinar and any suggestions for future topics. So thank you very much in advance for your participation on that. Okay, today's session will be focused on one of the most valuable but often underutilized area of the application, the dashboards. Dashboards within the Empower Suite are used to display system-wide information through widgets. You can use these graphical charts, tables, and reports to present the data collected in your system to support your analysis, planning, and reporting functions. Dashboards are a single point of access for many Empower features, and each major VPI module comes with its own dashboard. So the dashboards you see on your application depend on the VPI modules that you're licensed to use. There's always a My VPI and an Interactions dashboard, but having a quality, coaching, and performance dashboard depend on if you license these modules. Okay, so let's go right into the system and take a look at the dashboards. So I'm going to log into a demo system here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to log into our system here, and you'll see that I've already configured and set up the My VPI page to have a series of widgets. So first we're going to take a look at widgets that have already been populated on this dashboard, but then we'll step through all the processes of adding them onto an empty dashboard that you may have in your system. All right? So upon initial login, as you see, the VPI dashboard, the My VPI dashboard is usually the very first screen that you encounter. And as you can see on this dashboard, we've got several widgets already appearing. And you can see that there's various types of widgets. We've got some bar widgets, we've got line charts, we've got some pies, and we've also got a control chart over here, which we'll talk about as well. So we also have widgets that we classify as list widgets. So we'll see some of those as well. Okay? So now let's take a look at each of these widgets that we currently have on this dashboard. So the average ACD talk time widget, you can see that this is a line chart showing the average ACD talk time for a group of agents, and in this case, it's over a period of a week. Okay? So you can see the particular days over a period of a week. Then we have the flagged media by type widget, and this is actually a Pareto style chart that contains both bars and a line graph, where individual values are represented in descending order by the bars, and the cumulative total is represented by the line. The left vertical axis is the number of occurrences, and the right vertical axis is the cumulative percentage of the total number of occurrences. Right? Because the reasons are in decreasing order, you can really see at a glance which item has the highest occurrence. Okay? Now, these types of charts have become the norm for many QA functions, so there's a variety of charts in our system that are based on this Pareto-style model. Okay? All right, here you can see that we've got a pie chart showing the status of evaluations in the system. And in this case, it's showing what evaluations have been finalized, in progress, etc. Okay. Now we've got here a interactions by agent chart. So this one here is showing our, let me scroll down a little bit so you can see it. So this is showing the number of interactions for a defined period of time for various agents. Okay. Now this next one is more of what we call a trend widget. So this one is showing the number of interactions, and we've configured it for a variety of agents or group, and this is the trend on the number of interactions that's occurring for this period of time. So this looks like it's for a quarter and it's by week. Okay. And then lastly, back to our control chart. This one here we call a control chart because you can see it's got targets, a target embedded here, as well as an upper and lower limit. So this is goal lines indicating the target for this specific metric, which happens to be number of outbound calls. So we can create this type of widget for any metric being captured in the system. Okay? And unlike the other widgets, this particular widget does require the licensing of the VPI performance module, because it's in that module where we have the metric designer, where you can add the targets and your upper and lower limits or boundaries that you want to display. Okay? So now note that many of these widgets provide specific information too when you hover over their lines. Okay? So we can hover over a line here, and you can see that, you know, if it's hard to distinguish between the different colors, you can hover over it and see the specific information being shown by that particular line or by a particular bar. Okay? Also, some of these widgets you can also drill into to see the data that make up the chart. So in this case, the flagged media by type, if I wanted to see these, you know, approximately 29 interactions that were flagged to need immediate attention, I can simply click on that, and you can see how quickly we now got the particular item, and we can even now from here, if we wanted to see the one from Andrew's service here, we can click on that, and it will actually bring up a media player where we can start playing back the call. If we were playing back the call and we decided, gosh, you know, this one really needs to be evaluated, we can schedule or perform an evaluation right here from this widget, okay? Or assign coaching if you've got the coaching module, okay? So in my demo system, this is showing up gray because we're not saving the media from this. So in your system, it would show the normal gray or the normal green bar with all of the energy, and you could play it back right from here without having to go into your interactions search page to find that. Okay? So these widgets can really allow you to do a lot of function right from your dashboard without having to go into any of the other tabs. Okay, so you can see that using widgets can provide you information to see what's going on within your call or dispatch center, and gives you the quick ability to be able to answer questions such as, you know, has our average ACD time been going up or down this week? How many outbound calls have we had today, and do they meet our target? What agents in my group are taking the most number of calls? So we can see if we need to make any adjustments to better level out the incoming call queues. Also, we can answer the questions such as, how many evaluations have been scheduled this month, and how many are finalized and in progress. Okay? So also, I mean, the questions that you can answer from these widgets, you know, are numerous, and you can set up specific widgets knowing the types of questions that are important to your organization for understanding your KPIs or key performance indicators. Okay? Now, let's look at some other options with our dashboard on how you can manage them. So you can see we've got six widgets here, but you may want to group them or have other clusters of widgets. So we have the capability to add multiple tabs on your dashboard. So you can see we're in a tab right here that we called Analysis. But if we wanted to have another grouping of widgets, we can create a tab, and in this case, I called it Media, and you can click to your Media tab within that dashboard, and you've got a couple of other widgets. Okay, so you can see here, this is one that is called a list widget. So this particular case is called the Flagged Media widget, and it's been configured to list all the media that has been flagged in the system. And remember, flags can be manually added to an interaction, or with the use of business rules, you can set up to have the system automatically flag interactions or audio segments meeting certain criteria. But business rules, that's a whole topic for another webinar. But from this widget, which is one of the most popular ones in the system, you can, like the sister widget of the Flagged Media by Type, you can drill right down into the media for playback or evaluation right from this dashboard without having to go to the interaction search page. So you can see that this one you can scroll, and it actually has a number of pages for the grouping of flags that you have selected and for the grouping of agents that you want to appear in this particular widget. So again, you could say if I want to go look at Andrew's flagged interaction right here. Actually, this is a flagged audio segment. These up here are showing that it's an interaction. We can go and click right on this particular link. And like the other one, it's going to drill down and provide us a media player where we can play back and do all of the kinds of functions that you saw us doing in the previous drill down. All right. So since we've got a couple of pages now in our dashboard, we've got a great feature for viewing multiple tabs that's really nice if you have a flat screen wallboard where you would like to project these widgets, or perhaps just a second monitor where you keep your dashboard or would like to keep your dashboard displayed. And that's called our rotation feature. Okay? So we can click rotation, and now you'll see I'm not clicking anything on the mouse, and it's going to automatically rotate, and I believe in this case it's about every 5 seconds. But you can define your rotation interval here to 5 seconds, 10 seconds, etc. So again, a nice feature, especially if you've got up to the 4 tabs that you can have in any dashboard. So we could have analysis, media, quality, performance, whatever you want to call these particular tabs. You can have up to 4 of them in each dashboard. And so remember, you can have the My VPI as a dashboard. So you can have 4 pages of widgets here. Each page can have up to 6 widgets, and each dashboard can have a total of 12. Okay? So you could have 12 widgets in the My VPI dashboard that again are broken up between 1 and 4 pages. You could have 12 more in interactions or 12 more in quality. Okay? So, or whatever modules you have. You can have 12 for performance and coaching if you have those modules licensed as well. Okay? So a nice, a very nice feature. Okay. So another feature for kind of managing and changing the appearance of your dashboards is the ability to change our layouts. I'm going to stop rotating, and I'm going to edit my dashboard, and now I'm going to show you the variety of layouts that are available. So you can see that this particular view was a lot different than the analysis page, which was, you know, really a one-column width and a one-column row height, whereas this one is a triple column width. Well, if we didn't really want it that large, we could go and change it, and it's going to automatically adjust the widgets to be in the smaller footprint. Okay? So let's go take a look at our analysis page and see what happens when we try to change this layout. You know, there's a couple of things. You know, things are, you know, a tad smushed here. We might be able to make those larger to give us a better visualization. So we can change the layout. And again, here's all the different layouts that are available. So there are 8 of them. So we could change this to perhaps, you know, have a hybrid of different sizes in our dashboard. And so we're going to change it to this one. Okay? So now we've got some that are the 2-column width and others that are the single-column width. Okay? So you can really see our control chart nicely here with the upper and lower boundaries. So now here, you know, we're saying, okay, this is great, but really this group interaction trend has a lot more, you know, horizontal information. So maybe that one would be actually better in the 2-column width. So we can easily drop and drag this over and swap spaces there. Okay? And now when we go and refresh it, it's going to bring it up, and you can see that one went below, so maybe we want to drag it over here. Okay? So you can see how easy it is to drag and move around the widgets on your page, and also all of the different layouts that are available. Okay? So, yeah. All right, so let's see a couple of other things that we can do. So speaking of, you know, dragging from the title bar of the widget, it's also from this title bar of the widget that we can also change the name of the widget if we wanted to. Okay? So maybe we want to add the time period or the team that this is depicting. So we just click right on the name of the widget, and we can change this. And you can add this, you know, by month, or you know, for ops, whatever you would like. You can change the name of your widget strictly by simply typing on the widget name, and then of course you saw, you know, that I hit the checkbox, which is saying okay. Another feature that I really do like, and I think is pretty underused, is opening up the dashboard in a new window. Okay, you can see from this link here, we can open up the dashboard in a new window. And now you can, you know, resize this and have it in the background while you're doing other things in the application, or even when you've logged off to vPortal, this particular window will stay open until you X out of it. Okay? So if you want to log into vPortal and all you really want to do is monitor and take a look at a few of your dashboard widgets, again, you know, you can resize this, put it in the background, and then X out of your vPortal system altogether, and that window will still remain on your system. Okay, so now that you've seen what widgets look like in my profile here on this demo system that I've already added and configured, let's see how you can add them to your dashboard and how you can configure them to what you need. So for this case, I'm going to go ahead and start from a blank dashboard. So you'll see that on my interactions dashboard, there's nothing here, so it's blank, right? And that could be the case with quality, but I think quality, I actually have a couple of widgets here, okay? So you can see here on my quality dashboard, this is pretty much the same evaluation status pie chart that I had on the My VPI page. And here you can see I've set up another list widget, and this is giving me my evaluation tasks that have been scheduled to me. So this is like a to-do list. So I've been scheduled 5 evaluations that I need to do, and when it was scheduled, whoever scheduled it assigned due dates as well. So I've got those due dates here, and again, I can drill down right from here to start the evaluation. Okay? So this is, again, like the flagged media widget, a way to drill down and use the dashboards as really my main control area, and right from here, I can perform this evaluation without having to search for it, without having to even go into my quality tab. Okay? So let's go back now. Let's go back now to our interactions dashboard, and I want to show you all the widgets that are available and how to add them onto your system. So first thing is that you want to edit, so kind of unlocking, and you can see that we've got a variety of different options. So if you wanted to add tabs, like we were talking about before, like I had for the analysis and the media tab, you would do it from here, and you can add a variety of tabs, okay? You know, which would add it from this particular, let's go ahead and walk through it. We can call this, you know, my flagged items. If this is where you want to put your flagged media widget, you can call that the page whatever you want, and there it is there. Okay, so now we've got 2 particular tabbed pages. Okay? Now we want to go ahead and add a widget. So to narrow down the widgets, you can see we've got a variety of kind of controls here on our select widget pop-up box. We've got various categories, and you can see that when you add widgets onto individual dashboards, they are context sensitive. So if I was adding onto the My VPI page, let's go back and look at that. If I was adding something onto the My VPI page, you would see that all of the widgets are, oh, see, I've got too many on that page already, so it's going to tell me that I can't because I've got 6 widgets already. But if I wanted to add another widget here, you can see that I've got all the categories of everything I've licensed, because the My VPI dashboard is kind of like the super dashboard. You can put any subject or category of widgets on the My VPI dashboard, whereas on the other dashboards, they're only for subject matter widgets. So on this particular dashboard, which is quality, I'm only going to be able to add quality widgets or fact finder widgets if you're using fact finder. Fact finder can go on any. That's another application that we have. Okay, so you can see here that you can, you know, sort them by name, by category. You can combine them for ascending and descending order. Okay, so we're going to add a couple onto our interactions dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and add widgets. And I kind of like them by name. So I'm going to go and sort them by name. And I want to go and put on that cool flagged widget, the flagged media widget. So I'm going to go and find it. And you know, by the way, if I questioned, you know, what does this widget do for me or what is it going to display, I can press the information key here. And it gives me a small description of what this widget does. So in this case, it says this widget is a list that provides you quick and easy access to hot issues right from your dashboard. Widget lists the interactions that have been flagged, you know, and so on. Okay? So most all of the widgets have descriptions letting you know the value and options and the kinds of things that you can do with that widget. Okay? So I'm going to add the flagged media widget. I'm going to add the flagged media by type widget. I think that I'm going to add an interactions by type, or excuse me, by agent. And I'm also going to, let's see if there's another one I'd like to demonstrate for you, is a, let's see, total talk trend perhaps. Let's go back and the total talk time trend. So what that does. Okay. And now we'll walk through how to configure them, because you can see don't look too interesting right now. So let's see how you configure them to start providing the data. So you go to the widget header. You can see there's a couple of small icons here, and the one with the / is the edit, and this takes you to, a widget configuration screen. Okay. So for this widget, we want to select our agents whose flag calls we want to display, and then for the period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and select my agents. So you can see here that most of the time, the first 10 or so selections are checked by default, but we can clear that selection because I want to select a couple of people in my group. So I want Quill, and then I want to find Jessica. Okay, so we can just use our search capabilities. I'm going to add Jessica, going to add Margit, and Daryl. Now let's take a look. Daryl, okay? So I'm going to add them. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to determine what media I want. Okay, so I want audio, video, evaluation, or interaction. Well, in this case, I want to see all those types. I want to see all of those different interactions or video or audio segments that have been flagged. I want all of those to appear in my widget. And now I can select my flags. So whatever flags are important to me, I can select, or I can keep all of them. Obviously your list widget is going to be larger if you have all of them selected, but let's go ahead and keep them all selected. And now you go and select the date that you want to have these appear from. Okay? I know that this is my demo system, and most of our data was we imported in from a while ago, so I'm going to just make it a pretty broad date. Okay? Now I preview it, and I can see if I'm satisfied and happy with the results, and I can see, okay, 77 items in 4 pages. Yeah, I think that's what I want. So now if I'm happy with that, I hit save. Okay? And I've now configured my widget. So pretty straightforward, but let's go ahead and look at some of the others. Okay? The flag media by type, very similar to the other. I would go ahead and select the agents that I had in mind. In this case, I'll just keep the default ones that are selected. Okay? And I put my flags. Again, I can, for this one, maybe I don't want some of these, and I'll uncheck those. And I want it again, for the broad period that I have. But again, you can see that you can do any kind of quick selection on time period, or you can use the calendar as I did and type in specific information, specific dates. Preview this. Okay, you can see that I've got the 3 flags listed here, and it gives me my number and my Pareto chart. Okay. Now let's take a look at the interactions by agent. Okay. You'll notice that all the grouping looks pretty similar, but in this case, you can actually even select the graph type. Okay. So you can select whether or not you want this one to be a bar or a pie chart. So some of them have different options. I think I'm going to keep this one as a bar. It seems like it's going to be more effective for me. And now I think that instead of by individual agents, I'd like to see this one by groups. So now I go and I select my groups. And again, you can see that, the first few entries are selected. But I'm going to clear those because I actually want to see these 4 groups that are my organizational users. I'm going to go ahead and select those 4 groups. And again, your system's going to be different, but you're going to see your group structure here, and we can hit OK. And I'm now going to select the period of time that I want, going back to my broad period, and this is going to see the save. It's going to see my interactions by group for this 2-year period. Okay. So again, if I wanted to add that this was a 2-year period, I could do that, or if I decide, gosh, that's, I really didn't need to know, that there were over 100,000 calls, I want it more granular in a smaller time period, I would go and, of course, just again, either select my Hi, everyone. Seems like I got a message that I had been disconnected, so hopefully you all can hear me and that everything is going fine. Okay, so let's get back to it. So we just showed you how to configure the interactions by agents. So now let's go and see what it's like to configure more of a trend style widget. So let's look at this example here. We're going to go and again press my edit button here, and now this time you can see that I can view it by particular time slices. Okay, so let's walk through. I'm going to leave this one as a line. I'm going to go ahead and view it by day, and in this case I'm going to group by agent, and I'm going to leave the agents that are defaulted and checked here. I'm going to leave that there. And in this case, I'm going to select again, I'm going to select a particular month that I want. And, we know that I'm working in the past here. So I'm going to go select a particular month in 2010. Okay. So I'm going to do it for the month of September, September 1 to October 1 of 2010. I'm going to preview this. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, well, I've got a lot of data here, and that's kind of what I want, so I'm going to hit Save. Okay. So now you can see that this particular widget is not too legible in the one-column width. So we can change the layout and put this widget in a wider format, or as you saw before, I can simply move it and put it in a wider format. And you can see that it's much nicer here. Okay. Okay, there's a few other features within the widgets too. So now that we know how to configure them, get data in our widgets, select the time period and the agents that we want, there's a couple of other things that we can do, utilizing the icons that are in the widget title header. Okay. So the first box here on the left, we can relocate this widget. So maybe we want to, gosh, this one's so great, I actually would like to put this back on my VPI dashboard. Do I have to recreate it there? No, I can choose the dashboard that I want to move it to and add it here. So I can either say, oh, I want to keep it in the interactions, but I want to put it onto my home page rather than my flagged items page. Okay, I can add it there. Or I can say, oh gosh, I'd like to move this one to my VPI, and I'm going to put it on my media page. Okay? So you can move it or copy it there. Okay? So that's a nice feature. All right. Then this feature, that's the I, which is for the information, and this allows us to hide the legend. So in this case, if you wanted to have a little wider widget, you didn't really care about seeing all of the names, you're going to hover over the lines to see the legend. You can click that, and it's going to remove the legend, again, giving you a little more footprint. Right? Now we've got a nice capability, too, of being able to export this to PDF. So if you wanted to put this in a PDF, You could do that as well if you wanted to mail it off to your boss or to your agents to show them information. You can export it to PDF. Okay? So you can see it embeds it into a PDF, giving you information about what the widget is and what data points make up that particular widget. Okay? So we can then get out of that and go back. And then the last thing, of course, is if we no longer wanted a particular widget, we could X out of it, as you would expect, to remove it from your dashboard. Okay? So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to show you today. So I hope this webinar has been informative and that you've learned some new information about dashboard and widgets. Among the things that we talked about today are that each module has a dashboard and that there are different types of widgets that can be added to each dashboard: bar, line, control chart, lists. We also demoed the features of the dashboard, the different layouts, the multiple tabs that you can rotate through tabs, and we also saw how to add and configure widgets that are there to do various things. And the various things you can do with the widgets are relocate, print, just to name a few. So hopefully you see how you can use all the data that's collected in your Empower application to help you answer business relevant questions that will help you keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on with your business and provide you the data available to make the needed business changes and decisions. Okay? I'm now going to go back to my PowerPoint just for a couple of wrap-up slides. So for more information on how to upgrade to our latest release, add any other application modules, or take advantage of screen recording, please contact your sales rep or one of our account managers. Also, I hope that you'll join us for our next training webinar, where we're going to present another topic on gaining actionable insights from your interactions data. Okay, so we'll now open up the session for any Q&A. Okay, I got one that says, how many tabs or pages can I have on each dashboard? That's a great question. You can have 4 pages in each dashboard, and each page can have up to 6 widgets, though there is a max of 12 widgets per dashboard, okay? Because we don't want to allow too many, because you do see that there is some refresh time for the widgets to render on the page. So we have limited it to 4 pages, 12 widgets within each dashboard. Okay, any other questions? Those are what I have so far. And of course, you know, if you have questions that you think about after the webinar, you can certainly feel free to email me or any of the other trainers that you're aware of. Okay. And here's a question. Is the dashboard for my profile only? Yes, the dashboard is for your profile only. So you create a particular dashboard and set up your widgets, and you know, another coworker might have different needs and need to see different data, so they can set up their dashboard separately. Now, we do have an administrative tool to allow the creation of dashboard templates that can then be pushed out. So if you have administrative rights and you want all of your agents or all of your managers not to have to hassle with creating the widgets on their dashboard page, not that it's too difficult as we saw today, but if you wanted to kind of control the information that they saw, the administrator can actually create what we call our user configuration template, and they can set up what they want the dashboards to look like, and it can also include custom searches and custom reports as well. And then you can push out this template to any number of users or groups that you would like. So that's a great question. And that's probably a topic that we should discuss to having for another training webinar, is how to create and push out user configuration templates. I'll wait a couple moments, see if we've got any other questions. And again, I'll put on the screen my contact information in case you have any questions, regarding this webinar, or if you'd like to make any suggestions for future webinars, please add that into the survey results, or certainly you can send it to us directly. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your attendance and look forward to you logging in for our next training webinar.